Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some of my favorites. I think I would even say holy grails, like holy grail favorite things that I will always repurchase and that I love so much. Some of these you can't repurchase though, so because I love them so much I actually use them very sparingly because I would be so sad when I run out and can no longer purchase them anymore. So let's get into it. I don't have a Holy Grail primer or anything, but I do have a Holy Grail concealer, and that is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This stuff is fantastic. I've almost panned it. I've got a nice little hole in it. Dent, whatever you want to call it. I use the shade Light to Vanilla, and this stuff is so great. I have a lot of uneven skin tone, scarring. I'll have, breakouts and stuff as I do now. And for the most part, hey, this is a great color match for me. If I am having a better skin day, I can use this just in the spots that are troublesome with, the rest of my base as a, no makeup. I don't get to do that very often, but I can do it for that because it's such a good skin match for me. Two, it has such great coverage without being cakey, and it works so well. I highly recommend this if you're acne prone, if you have scarring, hyperpigmentation, whatever it might be. I feel like this concealer is just a one-stop shop, perfect for everybody and everything. Maybe not for under the eyes, but I don't really conceal under my eyes anyways. But I'm talking like spot concealing. Highly recommend. That's my only Holy Grail concealer. A Holy Grail foundation, surprise, surprise, is another Nars product, which is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I have the shade Oslo, which it might be a little too light for me, but it's hard. Shade matching is hard, and this was the closest that I could get, but this stuff is amazing. It's lightweight, but buildable. I would say it's a medium coverage that you could build up and everything. You can build any foundation up, but this is truly buildable in that, if you just do a, one layer of it, you still see your imperfections, your skin shines through, and then you can add a little bit more, and it's just flawless. It's an amazing foundation. It never feels heavy. It wears so long. I don't ever touch up my makeup regardless of what I'm wearing. Let me take that back. Seldom do I touch up my makeup during the day, and I never feel like I need to with this. My skin doesn't break up horribly. It breaks up a little bit throughout the day, but it still looks good from when I leave the house to when I come back home after work. And I love it. I love it so much. I can't think of another foundation that I've loved as much as this that's not completely full coverage. I don't have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. That was a holy grail for me for a long time, but it's very full coverage. I am a full coverage queen. I like a full coverage makeup. I want a blank slate. I don't want you to see my natural skin and all of its, hyperpigmentation. I want a clean slate. And the Flawless Foundation did just that. But it still never looked cakey, never looked heavy, and it was beautiful. I would absolutely repurchase that. But I am trying to embrace more medium coverage and radiant satin finishes over matte. I feel like my skin is aging a bit. I am aging. We're all getting older. And I think a full matte foundation now is just a little much. So on the flip side of that, another holy grail that I have that is full coverage without being cakey but still matte, I would say like a satin matte, is the Milani 2-in-1 Perfect Conceal and Perfect Foundation. I wear the shade OOB Light. And again, this is absolutely full coverage. This is what I'm wearing today. I've been wearing this for a while. I sit like this a lot. So I do have some wore out spots that fades a little bit faster because I'm constantly touching my face. It's a bad habit. But I would consider this a full coverage. You need like a pump on your hand and it goes a long way. Whereas this one, I can do 2 pumps and it would be not nearly as full coverage as this, but still closer to full than medium, if that makes sense. But between the two, like if I want something a little bit lighter, a little bit dewier, more radiant, this is the one. If I want something more full coverage, slightly matter, it's this one. When I'm having more troublesome skin days, it's all about this one. This one will carry me all the way through. So those are my foundation holy grails. What comes next? I have no blush holy grails. Blush is like my least favorite makeup product. I would never wear brush. I would not wear blush if I could get away with it, but I do feel like you need blush. You need it. I've never found one that I loved. I'm not in love with any blush. Nor bronzer. Don't have a single bronzer that I would be like, yes, this is it. This is the only one I would ever buy again. Bronzer is bronzer to me. I've not found the one yet. Highlighters, on the other hand, I love highlighters. Highlighters are my favorite. I want you to see my highlighter from Space. I don't believe in a subtle highlight. The more the better. I would even say like my highlight today, it's pretty blinding. Like it's more subtle than usual, but it's still pretty, I got it on. You know I'm wearing highlighter, which is what I want. I want you to see my makeup. Anyway, I have two holy grails for highlighters. And the first one is probably all-time OG, best, most fave ever. And that is Becca Opal. This is just perfection. This is just the most beautiful highlight in my entire life. If we can see it. I always swatch it wrong. But it's like not subtle, but it's a beautiful champagne. I love it so much. I could wear this every day. I do wear it a lot. Fun fact, this is the highlighter, not this one, but this Becca Opal is what I wore on my wedding. And it is the only highlighter I have ever panned. Yes, fact checking in my head just now. The only highlighter I have ever panned, and my friend gifted this to me when they were like going out of business before Smashbox or whoever bought them up. So I don't know if I'll still be able to get this, but I do treat this as like I'll never have it again. It's hard sometimes to use it when I feel like I can't purchase it again. I love it. So that was the first one. And the second one is also a highlighter glow kit that you can now no longer purchase. It is discontinued. And that is the Nicole Guerrero and Anastasia Beverly Hills glow kit. And again, I use this all the time, but also sparingly because you can't get this again. I got this on its second run. So it came out years ago. I don't even know when. My best friend has it. And we were just playing around one day and I used it and I was like, these are stunning. These are like the prettiest highlighters I've ever used. And she's like, yeah, it's great, but you can't get them anymore. They're discontinued. And I was like, devastated. I was like, dang it, why did I use this? No, I can't have it. And then I think last year, either 2020 or 2021, they came back out. They put this back out and ooh, did I snatch it up. I said, I have to have it. I need it. It took every fiber of my being to not buy two because I was like, if I use it all up, what if I want another one and I won't be able to purchase it again? Well, then I just won't be able to purchase it again, and that's that. But some of the best highlighters ever. Again, not subtle. They are blinding. I love them so much. Yes, highly recommend if you can get it, if they ever bring it back. Lots of shades, a lot of shade variety in it, so I feel like you can wear any of those highlighters with anything. Okay, those are those faves, and now I have 5 eyeshadow palettes. Before I do the eyeshadow palettes, let's talk about mascaras, because I only have 2 of those and I have 5 eyeshadow palettes. So, before, I used to only buy the Hourglass Caution mascara. Lived and breathed by it. Ride or die, holy grail, does not flake, smudge, or budge on me. Removes easily, it's not waterproof. Loved that stuff. However, I have a hard time spending $29 on a mascara. I don't know why. Call me frugal. The frugalness is catching up to me as I spend countless dollars on makeup in general. But $29 for a mascara that I was replacing every 3 months just seemed a lot to me. So I was on the hunt for a replacement, for a new one. And I found the Revlon Big Bad Lash. It's different. It's not quite the same, and it doesn't wear quite as well as the Hourglass Caution, but this gives me great lashes. It really volumizes and separates. It does wear a long time. I do have to set underneath my eyes with powder, especially as it gets more humid out here in Texas. But highly recommend as a drugstore really good mascara. I don't think it gets much better than that. I think I've bought this probably 4 or 5 times at this point. And I just repurchased this not too long ago. And it's a great one. I love it. That's why it's a holy grail. That's why it's one of my faves. And this is a new fave, the Lash Paradise, which I know is a favorite for a lot of people. And I get it. I understand why now. The first time I used it, I was like, what? Like, that's a nice mascara. It goes on so smoothly. It doesn't clump or get chunky. It builds up. I can do 2 or 3 coats with no problem. It does smudge on me. But also, I bought this not that long ago, and we're in like peak humid season here. So part of it's just kind of like, well, maybe it's just the humidity and it making everything soft. I don't blame the mascara. I blame the weather. But this quickly has become, like, I would repurchase this. If I had the option, if I have a whole wall of mascaras to choose from and Revlon Big Bad Lash is not an option, I would absolutely buy this. The L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Okay. This was the hardest part, choosing palettes that are my favorites, because I have a lot of favorites. I have a lot of palettes, but I also feel like for as many as I have at this point, I have pared it down to where I like everything I own. But I'm not about to show you like 25 palettes that are like, these are my favorite. But I chose 5. I had to choose 5. I couldn't whittle it down any less than that. So starting with like my OG, you can't get anymore. Well, that's not true. You couldn't get it anymore until recently. Let me just show you the Melt Cosmetics Gemini. This is the best palette ever. Like, I don't want to go so far as to say if I only had one palette forever, it would be this, because that's not true. I would need more. But I love this palette so much. It is everything I want in like a grungy palette. This black right here, Bonnie, even from the newer palettes that I've gotten, the blackest black that I own, and I love it. This palette is just fantastic. It's just an amazing palette. The formula is great, and I was gifted this. This was a gently used palette that my friend Kaylee sent me because she knew how much I was like lusting after it, and you couldn't get it last year or whatever. And then they came out with the Gemini 2, and they re-released the Gemini, which again took every fiber of my being to not buy a new one. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, but I literally was like, what happens when I run out of this one? And they've took it back out of sale and you can't buy it anymore. Then what am I gonna do? Well, I'll just have to get over it. But I did buy the Gemini 2. And this has quickly become a fave. Like, it's I don't know if I love it more. I don't know if I love it more than the original, but I definitely think it's just as good. If not better, maybe better than the first, because I'm sure it's the same formula. It just feels new. The powders are soft and buttery, but so are they in the original that I have. So it's just that new factor to it, right? But I find myself reaching for it all the time. I love it. I think it's beautiful. Again, just that rosy, grungy. We've got the greens and the browns over here, which I think complement the first Gemini so well. But then the browns and the OG one also complement all of the neutrals over here. So it's just, they're perfect. Together they are perfect. If you only have one, you need the other. I am telling you to go out and buy the other one. I think they complement each other so well. And standalone, they're great as well. So those are my first ones. And then I have the September Rose Cosmetics Brew Palette. You've seen this on my channel already. I lusted after this. I don't even know why. Like, number one, I love coffee-themed things, because I love coffee. But, oh, I just stuck my finger in it. No! Dang it. I love coffee-themed things, and I just thought this was beautiful. Just a beautiful, and I am a matte lover. Like, I love doing all matte looks, all matte moments, and so there's only 2 shimmers in this palette, and I was like, perfect, that's all you need. All you need are 2 shimmers, and these are the perfect shimmers. This one right here, it's called Cold Brew, one of my all-time favorite shimmers. Like, I love this shimmer by itself, layered over other things. Both of these shimmers together, layered together, oh, so good. So yes, I've had this for about a year now, probably a little less than a year. I can't remember what is time, but I use this one all the time. I love it so much. We have the ABH Norvina Volume 5 Pro Pigment Palette. And I love this one because it's purple. And purple is my favorite color, and actually that is the look that I'm wearing today, is made from this palette, and it's beautiful and I love it. I've never made a look that I did not like from this palette. This truly is, I can't say that because it's mostly purple. I could do a lot with this palette for a long time before I needed another one, because I feel like you've got some pinks in here, you've got some purple, obviously you have purples, but then there's these like I can't do this, but like this one, these purple chocolatey browns, this warm shimmer over here. This is like a nice topper glitter that goes with just about everything. These silvers and whites, like all of those just go so far, and it doesn't have to be just a purple look. This is a very versatile palette, to be honest, and yeah, I love it. This was my birthday present to myself last year, and it lives on all of these palettes that I'm showing you live on my desk, and I reach for them more often than anything else. I have a few other palettes up here, but some of them are just kind of new, and I can't like say with certainty that they are like all-time fave holy grails. They're just up here because they're up here right now. Doesn't mean that they deserve to live up here. Not yet, not yet. But yes, ABH Norvina, I have 2 other palettes of hers. The mattes perform beautifully. I love them so much, but the purple one is probably my favorite. And then I have one more palette, and I bought this with a gift card. I never would have bought it for myself, like just cause. That's not true. I probably would have if I was sad enough or just feeling feisty, but I got this Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad in Interstellar Icon. And like I said, I would not have bought this just cause, but I had a gift card, and I truly have always wanted a Pat McGrath palette. I do have another one of hers. It's a little, like, this one right here. Eye Ecstasy Sublime. And I just consider these toppers. They're all shimmers. And they're beautiful, and I do love them. But, I don't know. For some reason, like, this, not that it didn't count, but I just wanted something else, like, from hers. I feel like I got this for, like, I don't even remember when I got this, but this one just really spoke to me. And this shimmer right here has become my whole life, and I love it. This little lavender blue one also, it's just a beautiful palette. It's a beautiful palette. And because I do have so many matte palettes, like the Geminis are both very matte palettes. The Noctex Antiquity palette, very matte. The Brew palette, very matte. So I like to spice them up with these Pat McGrath shimmers. And it just like takes it to the next level. And I love it. I love it so much. So those, I'm very in love with those palettes. So kind of like honorable mention, but the big holy grail is this one. It's this one. It's beautiful. Those are my palettes, and I have one more thing that is a holy grail, which I did not know it was going to be a holy grail, but it is, and that is the Give Gwen Stefani Original Recipe Matte Red Lipstick. Let me tell you what, I got this via Octoly, and it was like not a secret campaign, but it didn't tell me like what the brand was. It just said that you're getting a lipstick, and I said, okay, give me a lipstick. And this one came in. I hadn't heard much about the brand or anything, but I literally, I was like, ugh, a red lipstick. Like, I was not expecting to be wowed. I was like, great, another red lipstick to add to my collection. Like, here we go. This is the most perfect red. This red is stunning. It's blue-based, so it makes my teeth look really white. It's uber pigmented. It's matte, but not drying. And let me tell you what, this lasts all freaking day long. I have put this on, and it gets dry. Don't get me wrong. I put like chapstick over it, but I do not reapply. I do not reapply this at all. From when I leave my house to when I get home, I will have this on my lips. It fades very nicely. You just put a little chapstick on top of it, and it kind of revives it and moves it around and fills it back out. You don't get butthole lips. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't feather. I recently went through a declutter of all of my lipsticks, and I did keep a good handful of reds, but hard pressed, I would get rid of all of them and keep only this one. This is it. This is the only red I need. Oh, it's beautiful. And I think because of that, I would absolutely try any other lipstick that she comes out with. Sign me up. Is there another lipstick I can try? I'll probably love it and be like, I don't need any of this shade ever again. This is all I need. So, but yeah, those are my favorites. If I had to recommend products out of those categories, I would absolutely recommend those without even thinking. It doesn't have to be a hard thought. What's your favorite red lipstick? Give by Gwen Stefani, Original Recipe. You know, ooh, if there's a highlighter that you have to have, Becca Opal, absolutely. And so on and so forth, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, those are my favorites. I just wanted to share them with you. And I wish I had like more more categories, but like I said, not a blush fan. Bronzer doesn't wow me. I've never had one that wowed me. I do have like some favorite eyeliners, like the NYX Epic Ink Liner. Best liquid liner hands down ever, but I don't have that right now. I'm working my way through a lot of eyeliners. Irregardless, those are my current holy grail favorites that I have in my collection currently, with honorable mentions of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Foundation. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I have. What are some of your favorites? Did I mention any of yours in mine? Do we share any faves? Let me know. What did I miss? What do I have to try? I would love to find new favorites, even though I'm on a no-buy. But I'm always on the hunt for the next best thing, that I'll love. So let me know what some of your favorites are. And until then, like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next one, alright? Bye.